Hi, this is Sue Jackson of the Live with ME/CFS blog, and I decided to start a vlog this week for chronic illness because I am very sick. And if you watch my channel or have seen my annual health wrap-up, I'll link to that, then you know that I had a rough late fall, finally came out of a 3.5-month relapse the second week of January. So I had 1 month of feeling pretty good for someone with ME/CFS. I was back to walking almost every day. I was back to doing some strengthening work with light weights. I was seeing friends a lot, which is probably what got me here. And yeah, feeling really good, really hopeful that this was the beginning of a long streak of relative wellness. And then Tuesday night, we were watching TV. I was lying on the couch and I said to my husband, I'm feeling kind of achy. And I think I have a little bit of a sore throat. And I was worried. And then yesterday, Wednesday, I had a little bit of mild congestion in the sinuses and the chest. It always goes into the chest with me. But not too bad. And I was thinking, I don't normally catch respiratory viruses. Maybe this is a good sign. Maybe I've caught a cold and it shows my immune system's normalizing. And then I woke up this morning with a killer sore throat. And I recognized that because it's the same way I felt when I had COVID in July last year. Probably haven't had a cold in 20 years, or the flu, or really any respiratory virus. A couple of little 24-hour stomach viruses snuck through when the rest of my family had one as well. But I do not normally catch respiratory viruses. I do catch COVID. In fact, because of my immune dysfunction, I don't make many antibodies against COVID. Even when I've just had COVID, my antibody tests come out really low. After I got the vaccines back in 2021, my antibody test came out really low. So, yeah, this isn't good. COVID is the likeliest possibility. Though, as I said, I mean, who knows? Maybe my immune system's changing. I don't know, probably not. I did do a COVID test this morning. It was negative, but I'm only 2 days in. And yeah, in my past experience, it usually don't test positive until the 4th day of symptoms. Same with both of my sons. So we'll just wait and see. In the meantime, I'm not going anywhere. Trying to keep my husband from getting it. I went all over the house today with disinfecting wipes. My son may stop by later today because he's got some packages to pick up. He wanted to bring dinner over, which is really sweet, but I don't want to infect him and his girlfriend. I will, of course, wear a mask, which I always do. This is what's so frustrating. I have been a little reckless for someone with ME/CFS, which makes no sense to the average, normal, healthy person. But as I said, while I was so grateful to feel good again, and I have gone out a few times. Last Friday, we took a little risk and went to a restaurant. We don't normally eat in restaurants. We get takeout. And my husband had a friend playing in a band. We both really wanted to see him. And the band was playing from 5 to 7, so we went early. 5 o'clock, wasn't that crowded. We were seated at a table kind of in a corner. I wasn't too close to anyone. I wore my mask, a KN95. But of course, it's a restaurant. I did take my mask off to eat. I'm usually careful about this. I don't think I had my mask off when the waitress came to our table, but I don't know. That's the most likely explanation. We did have friends over for Super Bowl, but this started too soon after that. COVID's incubation period is 2 to 8 days, so just I'm in wait and see mode. Wait and see and rest, of course. Taking it easy. I'm in old, very old sweats and, just going from couch to bed and taking it easy. Gonna have some lunch now, take my nap, try to get an extra long nap to help me out. I did manage to sleep in a little bit this morning, so we'll see what happens. So just up from my nap, kind of an unsatisfying nap, as they have been lately the last few days. Post-nasal drip and just hard to settle down. But I laid in bed with my eyes closed for an hour, and I read for a half hour before that, so I got some rest. And I must have nodded off a little bit, but not great. Just feeling worn out, achy. The respiratory symptoms aren't bad, but I don't know. I don't know what this is. I mean, given my history, COVID is the most likely, but it doesn't feel as bad as when I had COVID last July, so we'll see. I'm gonna get up, work on, I did record a short book video earlier today, so see if I can edit that and get it up for my usual Friday Reads video. Just thought I would get outside for a minute before the sun goes down. It's actually really nice out. Blue sky, that's the sun behind me. Very windy, as you can see. It got up to about 50 today, so it's nice and warm-ish, but very windy. And the snow is almost gone now, so just a few little pieces left. Just came out to get the mail and then go back to the couch. In bed now, getting ready for bed tonight. I don't know what to think, because last time I had COVID, I felt a lot worse on this, second and a half day. My husband pointed out my energy wasn't horrible today. And the aches weren't that bad. So I don't know what's going on. I do definitely have a little post-nasal drip, a little mucus in my chest, so I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. Just gonna have to see what tomorrow brings. So I enjoyed a couple of TV shows with my husband, and I read the Friday paper. We get the weekend newspapers, or the Thursday paper. Our local newspaper calls Thursday, Friday, and Sunday the weekend subscription. And just gonna read a little bit before I turn the light out. Okay, so I slept till 9 again this morning, which is late for me, but I'm not feeling that bad. I am a little bit of a scratchy throat, a little bit of congestion, but I showered, and I just thought I'd show you a little bit of my yoga routine. So ignore all the boxes of books. We definitely need another bookcase. So in the morning, every morning, I do a little yoga routine, really chill on the floor, definitely no standing poses, just sitting and kneeling. It really helps loosen up my muscles. Since I've been doing this, I haven't had any injuries or pain issues, so it's been really good for me. A couple of kneeling poses. So I am not at all naturally flexible, but just doing this really helps me. Because I'm limited so much, I can't really do a lot of the videos, but I watched some of the videos. Here's my tip. Look for yoga videos, like on YouTube, that are meant for beginners, and focus just on the first lesson. And that's usually really easy. So Yoga with Adrienne is a good series. She does great videos. But I looked at her like 30-day challenge for beginners, and I did day 1. And day 2 is a little too advanced for me. It involved too many standing poses. So I just stuck with day 1. And then over time, I took little bits and pieces out of different yoga videos that I had seen and created my own routine that fits my needs. So it's all sitting, kneeling, very easy. It's also based on my needs. I tend to have low back problems and problems with my shoulders and upper back. So I do stretches for all of those areas. I can feel this stretch all the way down my side and through my hip. Sitting like this and stretching like this, really, I learned, I think from Adrienne maybe, that stretching your hips helps pain in your low back. And I've definitely found that to be true. Some neck stretches, shoulder stretches. So I just created my own routine, and I do it every single morning. And even when I'm really sick, it's very chill, and it helps loosen me up so that I really haven't had pain issues in a long time. The bird feeder is busy this morning. This is through our kitchen window here. Very nice view. We get lots and lots of cardinals in the winter. But we've had a couple of new visitors the last few days. A couple of bluebirds, which we had never seen at our feeder before. So that's exciting. And it's a nice blue sky day today. Cold, it's in the 30s, but nice. My husband actually went out golfing. He doesn't mind the cold. He'll bundle up as long as it's not too windy. Downstairs now, getting breakfast ready, but first medicines. Although I really need it right now with this little bit of congestion I have, I take maximum strength 12-hour Mucinex every day, twice a day. I've got constant post-nasal drip because of allergies and mast cell activation. So I find it helps me, but it's especially if you get any congestion at all, you should get on Mucinex immediately. It's guaifenesin, and what it does is loosens up mucus so that it doesn't get thick and infected. Also, my Glutathione nasal spray, which is important for my immune system. It is not a B12 day. Those are my two, hydroxy and methyl B12. I take those every other day but gotta do this before I can eat. Okay, got my eggs going here. I cook a strip of bacon so that I get the bacon grease, cook the eggs in it. I've got some ham too. This is the way I've been eating since January last year, and it helps keep yeast overgrowth under control. My husband's lost 20 pounds on this diet. I lost most of my weight through normalizing my thyroid function, treating hypothyroidism, but I lost another probably 6 additional pounds with the diet switch. So that's not the main reason I'm doing it. So, but this is breakfast pretty much every day. On weekends we do some different things like omelets and sausage. But yeah, still gonna have breakfast. Gotta go take my Invisalign out. Yet another thing added to my morning routine now. So I thought I would just get a little more detailed on the extra stuff I'm taking with these viral symptoms. These are my antivirals, herbal antivirals, monolaurin, olive leaf extract, and L-lysine. I take monolaurin and olive leaf extract every single day, all the time. 2 capsules of olive leaf, and it's a high dose and a high potency. It's 750 milligrams with 20% of the active ingredient, oleuropein. Probably saying that wrong. I'm terrible at pronunciation. Monolaurin, I usually take 1 a day. So I've increased the monolaurin to 2 a day, the olive leaf to, instead of 1 twice a day, I'm taking 3 twice a day. And I've added in the L-lysine. L-lysine's really good against the old viruses that get reactivated in people with ME/CFS, all the herpes family viruses, for instance, Epstein-Barr, HPV, HHV6, there's a whole family of those, CMV. L-lysine's especially effective against those. The boswellia and the turmeric I take every day, 3 times a day. There's a lot of research showing they're both excellent anti-inflammatories, but the 2 of them are even more effective when taken together. So I do that. But since my viral symptoms started, I doubled my dose of zinc glycinate from 1 a day to 2 a day. Zinc, as I think a lot of people know, is very good when you've got a virus. Same with vitamin C, that one's pretty well known. Liposomal vitamin C is the best kind because it won't upset your stomach and it won't get destroyed by the stomach acids. So it makes its way through your system so that it can actually be absorbed into your bloodstream. I normally take 2 capsules a day or 1,000 milligrams, and I'm now taking 2 capsules twice a day. The zinc is usually 1 capsule a day, and I'm taking 2 a day. The other thing I increased, which isn't sitting out here cluttering up the table because it's small enough it would fit in my stuffed boxes, was vitamin D3. I usually take 5,000 IUs a day, and I've doubled that this week. So we'll see. Hopefully those things will help. And even though my symptoms are milder this morning, I did another COVID test because if there is any chance this is COVID, I need to get on Paxlovid right away because of ME/CFS. And as you can see, still negative, so that's good. I will probably test again tomorrow, but it's not feeling like COVID at this point, thank God. It's just, I'm really feeling not that bad. I'm kind of in shock. So I did consider sitting up in the recliner, but I think, I'm gonna play it safe, stay on the couch where I'm a little more lying down after I record this, I will lie down a little further. And I was thinking this morning about how differently I react as someone with a chronic immune disorder to some cold symptoms versus a normal healthy person. And it is night and day different. You know, a normal healthy person might wake up with a little congestion and a sore throat and not think much about it, really. Think, oh, shoot, I caught something. Hope I don't have to miss any work. Or depending on how you feel about your job, I'm going to stay home and play hooky today. Or if you're my son, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. I have to go to work. But, yeah. But when I woke up feeling so awful yesterday, I mean, my brain immediately went into thinking long term, you know, knowing that I could be down for months, that if this is COVID, I need to get on Paxlovid immediately. I need to call my doctor. I need to lie down. I mean, no matter what it is, my first thought is everything stops. Cancel all plans. Whatever I thought I was going to do today, forget it. Minimum, ask my husband to help. You know, do the absolute minimum. Lie down. Rest. It's just such a completely different mindset. I admit this week there's been a little bit of panic because we have a month-long road trip planned that we leave on in less than a month. And if this had been COVID, there's a very good chance we would have had to cancel that. So, you know, I'm thinking long-term like that, but I'm actually generally not panicked because it's like, I've been through this before. I know what I have to do. I immediately got out my old calendar pages where I keep track of how I'm feeling from last July when I did have COVID, and was like studying what I wrote down, what day one was like, what day two was like, are there any similarities, you know. So I go into analytical mode, but also just complete rest mode. Don't try to do anything. It's just a very different mindset. We live in a very different world when we're chronically ill than the rest of humanity. Had a good nap, just walking out to get the mail. Still doing all right. I still don't know what this is. So I am feeling a lot worse again today. Real bummer. Yeah, I don't have much time to record on weekends because I'm with my husband all the time, but I woke up feeling pretty crummy. A little bit of a sore throat, a little bit of congestion, but just feeling wiped out. And it hasn't gotten any better. Plus, I've had massive stress. Trying, even though I'm not feeling well, really need to get our tax information all ready for our accountant. And I have two major jobs in that. One, to check all my self-employment numbers and make sure everything's accurate. And of course it never is. I keep track all year long, but like the number from Amazon's publishing arm, KDP, was just a little off from what I had. And yeah, so I'm working with spreadsheets and trying to straighten all that out. The other big job is adding up all of our medical expenses from last year, which, yeah, that's a massive job. But I haven't even started that yet because I'm working on my finance spreadsheet for writing, trying to save it, and it won't let me save. And then I realized the exact same thing happened last year at the exact same time. This is a Microsoft glitch, and it crops up every year right about the time I'm working on taxes. So very, very frustrating. Microsoft is like the most their software is just so glitchy. And yeah, so it's basically locked me out of my own software. I don't subscribe to it. I own it. And yet once a year, on the anniversary of my purchase date, it locks me out from editing or saving my own files on my own computer. So, and of course, you cannot get a hold of anyone in Microsoft to actually help you. So I'm waiting for answers from the community. I know this exact same thing happened last year. I know there was a way to fix it. Don't remember what it was. Yes, I will be writing it down this year. But yeah, so really frustrating, and I am really exhausted. So gonna take my nap now. Feeling seriously stressed and overwhelmed, and still having problems with Microsoft, and we're planning this month-long trip in March to visit friends and family. And I'm honestly feeling on the verge of tears today. I know it's in large part because I don't feel well, but I feel like, what am I doing planning this trip? I get exposed to anything and I am down for the count. And of course, I planned all along to wear a mask when we see friends and family, but I don't know. It is just feeling hopeless. I'm feeling hopeless right now. So my husband went out to get takeout. I'm watching an old sitcom that I enjoy. And yeah, just gonna try to tune out and escape and rest and relax for the rest of the evening. So Sunday morning, I'm not doing too bad, which is kind of surprising because I had a restless night's sleep. I was up between like 3 and 4 in the morning, in bed, but not really asleep. And then I realized I went back on my low-dose Naltrexone last night for the first time. I stopped taking it in December. It's a treatment that worked very well for me for about 18 years. I stopped it in December because I was in the midst of that awful relapse. I was just trying anything that affected my immune system, and which low-dose naltrexone does. It normalizes the immune system. Since I've got this little virus thing, I thought this was a good time to go back on it. Maybe it'll help me get through this. So I did start it last night. When I first started it back in whenever that was, I don't know, 2007, 2008, I didn't have any side effects at all. A lot of people say that it does disrupt their sleep for the first week or so. And I do think that's what was going on last night. So I took extra valerian, which is it's an herbal supplement, very mild sedative, like chamomile. I took some extra of that. I took quite a bit last night and did finally get back to sleep around 4. And I woke up at 9 this morning and I showered. I'm doing okay. I feel better than I did yesterday. The shower really helped with my sinuses and my chest, loosen things up. And my husband made breakfast. So as I mentioned yesterday started out okay. I felt a little better. As you can probably hear, my viral symptoms got worse toward the end of yesterday, possibly in large part due to massive stress with this Microsoft software issue I'm having with Office. I did finally get through to an actual person at tech support yesterday. Actually, 3 separate people because they couldn't fix my problem. I spent 4 hours on live chat with their tech support. I know if you have chronic illness, you understand what that did to me. Yeah, so by afternoon, I didn't take my nap until 4, which is way too late for me because I was in this live chat. I ate lunch while I was in the chat. And their solution ended up being to uninstall the software and reinstall it, which isn't going to prevent the same problem from happening again next year. It was just very frustrating, very exhausting. And I don't know if this is just the natural course of this virus, or I'm sure the stress and the exertion of sitting up and being online all that time didn't help. But yeah, by afternoon, I was in bad shape. So the congestion has worsened. I slept with Vicks Vapo Rub on my chest and neck, which helped a lot last night. Actually, I was trying to get to sleep, and this was just driving me crazy. And I ended up getting up and taking half an Ambien. I normally only take those like if we're staying in a hotel or in somebody's guest room. Those are the places I don't sleep that well. I do fine in our camper and don't need it, but yeah, normally it's just for travel, but I needed a half last night, and I'm really glad I took it because the rest of the night was better. So, you know, I don't feel like completely crashed today, but the viral symptoms are there, and my energy is really low. And I still don't know what this is. Don't normally catch any viruses because my immune system overreacts against them. It's definitely not reacting against this because I'm still very sick. And also, I don't have, I've got a little bit. I was going to say I don't have the flu-like aches that I get when I crash, when a sign to me that my immune system's cranked up. Got a little bit of aches, but not the way they usually get during a relapse. So don't fully understand this. Keeping up the extra herbal antivirals, keeping up the extra vitamin D, liposomal vitamin C, zinc, doing all that stuff, hoping something works. I am really feeling awful today. I was hoping for a better day, but the congestion's getting worse. I tried to nap, but every time I started to fall asleep, I got so stuffed up I couldn't breathe, and yeah, just not going well. And just wiped out. You know how it is with this stuff. There's no way out but through. Just have to ride it out and hope that the effects of this virus don't make me worse for a long period of time, which is my ever-present worry. My son took my husband to an indoor golf place. It's very cold and extremely windy today. We've had wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. It sounds like the house is going to fall over at times. So they went to do an indoor golf thing. So they're enjoying that, and I got a couple of hours in a quiet house, which I really need. I am going to listen to some voicemail messages from a friend of mine and then leave her some, and then just lie here and chill out. I am not going to attempt to do anything. So Tuesday now, I am feeling a little bit better today, and I took low-dose Naltrexone again last night. Because when I stopped it a month and a half ago, I had been for about, 12 years or so, 15 years, I had been taking it every other night. So I started back on it that way. But I think this is like starting fresh after the break. And when I first started it, it was helpful taking it every night. So I think I may go back to that. So I'll try to, I took one last night, definitely feel a lot better today. Don't know about the effect on sleep last night because I did take half an Ambien just because the congestion, I knew it was going to keep me up. That is also a little bit better this morning. Still, you can probably hear it, still pretty bad. The crazy thing is it's not moving into my chest the way it used to. I used to get bronchitis like 5 or 6 times a year. What stopped that was glutathione, first injections, and then I switched to the nasal spray. I have a blog post on that, so I'll include that in the notes below. But that is another thing that helps to normalize the immune system. And for both my son and I, what it did was, we've always been like many people with ME/CFS. Our bodies overreact to viruses but underreact to bacteria. And so we would catch bacterial bronchitis over and over and over, especially this time of year. And our ME/CFS specialist recommended the glutathione. As I said, we started with injections and then later switched to nasal spray when that became available. And since then, I almost never get bronchitis. And this is just amazing that I am this congested in my sinuses and, you know, my chest doesn't feel tight. I mean, I can tell there's some postnasal drip, but beyond that, my chest is still clear. So that's really good and pretty amazing. So I am feeling a little better today. My husband was supposed to go golfing today, and it's like 20 degrees and windy out. So he was still gonna go. He had his long underwear on and everything, and he stepped outside and came back in and said, it's too cold even for me. So that's a shame for him and for me, because I was looking forward to some time to myself today. But that's fine. He went out to take some measurements in our camper because we're trying to replace the mattresses before it's time for our first trip of the year, which is a big one. We've got a month-long road trip to Texas and back planned 3 weeks. 3 weeks from yesterday, which is a little scary given how I've been feeling, but we're hoping we can still go forward with it. And I'm noticing there's a horrible mess in the background of this video. I would just like to point out that that corner is my husband's, and all of that is his mess. Anyway, so I am feeling better. I'm going to try to edit a video while my husband's out. I forgot to mention our son and his girlfriend are coming for dinner tonight, which I know seems like really bad timing. I will definitely wear a mask to protect them. And we're going super easy with dinner. I'm making one of his favorites that also happens to be really easy. Pork roast. It's already in the crock pot. So I just took 10 minutes this morning. Stuck it in there with some onions. And it'll be ready by dinner time. My husband will help me with the vegetable, and I'm just making another cup of tea for myself because really helps with the congestion and the sore throat and everything else. Finally had a good nap today. I'm still blowing my nose a lot. It looks very red in this video, but I can breathe a lot easier today, so I think that helped. I actually slept during my nap, which just helps tremendously. I'm a mess if I don't get that nap. Even if I'm lying down for an hour, I really need to actually sleep. Our son and his girlfriend will be here in about an hour and a half, so got plenty of time to rest, and I'm just going to finish editing a video that I was working on this morning. Actually, it's all edited. I just have to fill out all the information to get it uploaded, so that shouldn't take long. And then I'm going to definitely lie down until they get here. So pretty much like yesterday, I woke up this morning thinking, hey, I feel a lot better. Congestion's better, energy's good. But I've only been up an hour just getting ready. And yeah, I'm still pretty run down. And yeah, the congestion's definitely still there. But I haven't taken my Mucinex yet. I'm going to go downstairs in a minute and do that. So that will help. I wanted to show you some of my other helpful things when you have a respiratory virus. So I've been using these a lot. These are sugar-free, very important throat lozenges. Yeah, last night I definitely needed them. And good old-fashioned Vicks Vapor Rub, chest rub. The gross smeary stuff you rub on your chest. It really does help, especially at night when you can't take a decongestant because they're so stimulating. I just tried these out, these Vapo shower things. It's like a Vicks in a tablet that you put in your shower. I used one yesterday. It's pretty cool. It worked. Forehead thermometer, though I've been taking my temperature almost every day, but it hasn't varied from my normal, like, low 97s, which is typical for someone with ME/CFS to have a lower than normal temperature. So, I mean, even if it went up to, like, 99, that would be a fever for me, but it really hasn't. I did take an extra melatonin last night. I usually take 2, I took 3. And haven't been using it the last few nights, but valerian is helpful when, you know, the congestion is keeping me awake. Instead, I've been taking Ambien, kind of an old prescription for Ambien there, just a half. That's been helping the last 3 nights. And as I mentioned, I am back on my low-dose Naltrexone. Took it again last night, so 2 nights in a row, which is different for me, but I do think that's helping. And getting back on it should help my immune system. And most important, the maximum strength, 1200 milligram, extended release, 12-hour Mucidex, which I will go take now. That's downstairs, and the rest of my morning medicines. I just sat down to start editing this vlog and realized it's already way too long, so I will sum it up very quickly. It's about 11:30 now. I've had breakfast, and yeah, it's the same as yesterday. I woke up feeling better, but no, I'm pretty run down still, pretty congested still. Yeah, so taking it easy. I'm on the couch. As soon as I finish this, I'm gonna lie down and work on editing the vlog, which is not real exerting. So, all right, I have no idea what's gonna happen, whether this is gonna linger for weeks or even months, whether we'll have to cancel our trip that starts in early March. Time will tell. You know how it is with ME/CFS. Sometimes there's nothing to do but wait and see what happens. I will, of course, keep up all of my treatments, including all the antiviral stuff, and we'll see. So, wish me luck.